I take this opportunity to welcome you to a unique blend of a rustic charm and eco-friendly, sustainable housing right here in Kenya. So today, behind me, you notice that there is a beautiful house made out of bandominium. If you like aluminium, or in very common terms, it is a MABATI house. That is not compromising anything on comfort, luxury, and ambience. So with me here are two very important people who are involved in the construction of this house, and I'd like to invite them so that they give us a house tour and explain most of the questions that I know you may want to ask about the construction and the inception of this home. So, karibu sana. Maybe you can introduce yourselves very briefly before we get into the house itself.
Okay, my name's Peter Mwangi Maina.
Yes, Mr. Peter.
Yes.
Thank you so much for accepting to feature on our video today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with him is
Charles Munene.
Okay.
Yes.
So please tell us a very brief history about the construction of this house. The inception, how you came up with the idea, why this kind of a house, and how the rest of it was executed.
So basically the first idea was we wanted something that is a bit cheaper to build, but with time we realized we are not just building a cheap house. We wanted something that could serve the family and also reflect us, the concept that we present as people and as a family. This is the final product that we have achieved.
Yes.
And we are still not done. We are going to keep improving it because it's easier to improve it.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Peter, you are involved in electrical installation or the general, actualization of the idea?
Yes, actually I would say from the initial part of it,
yes,
when Charles approached me and he told me that he would feel that he want to go and live in a house of his own, and then he asked me whether I could be having an idea how to come up with a cheap and fast dwelling place. I took him a bit of tour around here, and then he cited one and said exactly this is something that I would like to have. And so that we started coming to prepare the site, as we are also trying to think about how would it come up. And then it is from there then we took up, and then we started preparing even the ground, and he had a drawing, we call a drawing of the house he would like to have, and then we started there.
Okay.
And then we had to bring so many people on board. We had the carpenters, we had the plumber, and all others. So together, each with a different kind of experiences, we came up with such. And also Charles was telling us what he would like and how he'd like it to have, to be.
Okay.
And with his idea and our idea, when we brought them together, we were seeing us moving and doing also some things that we also could not imagine initially that's what would come up.
Okay.
People normally would like to call it semi-permanent.
That is now the question I'm coming to. There is one of the factors that you've mentioned being the main person in the construction of this house, you've mentioned that he wanted something cheap.
Yeah.
So before we get to that, will you kindly tell us the main kind of materials that have been used in this in the construction of this house?
Okay, we start from the ground foundation.
Yes.
We made sure that we have done a good foundation. That one is to start with. So we did all what you would have done with a permanent house, because we also knew about this, the history of this area in terms of the soil. So we did all what is supposed to have been done. If at all we were to have brought a permanent, the so-called permanent.
Yes.
So from the ground, we have done all that. Now, after that, the other material, the main material now was the timbers, iron sheet. In fact, those are the basics.
Okay.
And in fact, between the outer side, we have an insulation between the iron sheet and the boards.
Okay.
The insulation has to have about two purposes to serve. One, to insulate between, for the heat balancing, and for avoiding rodents, because no rodents can survive within that stuff.
Okay.
I wish you would have seen it before, and maybe
Before it was done.
before, yeah.
So after mentioning all those things, so how cheap is this house? Because I know I've had a tour already, but we are yet to get a tour so that all the viewers can get to see exactly how the house looks like.
Yeah.
But then when you mention the host wanted something cheap,
Yeah.
so how cheap is this house?
One, in terms of time, because also time is crucial. The other one, if you would have compared this structure coming up to where it is, because the roofing will remain the same, even if it was permanent or not permanent as they call it. The roofing will remain there. It would have been the same way it is. The walls are cheap. If you compare the involvement, this you cannot compare. In terms of now on monetary, he would be able to say exactly how much he has used this, and then you would compare with how much you would have used if you are to do with the normal bricks. Because what I say of involvement is in terms of labor, how many people are involved in this? Actually, you find there were very few. And on the river, people don't consider as if that is the cost of the house. But mostly that's where the most of the money goes. Okay. So one day, almost the whole iron sheets were done round in one day.
Okay.
Something would only have happened if you had to do the other stuff.
That is true.
This thing, transportation, was done once. If it's iron sheet, were brought here once. The timbers were brought here once. So you cut on that cost by itself. No much, a lot of logistics of material, whatever. So, were it not maybe we were taking brick voluntarily, not for anything, if we were to do it continuously, it would have really taken maximum of 1.5 months, maximum. And then, yeah. But given that there are other auxiliaries we were to do, like sewerage, storage tower, water towers, all those again. But for this main one, was just too fast if we were to do it. Okay. So it is cheap in that perception.
In that sense.
Yeah.
I cannot add on that.
Yes.
First objectives kept changing from cheap. We also realized it was very fast. Cheap in this form. For us to put up the whole skeleton, it just took a week. 5 days. There were 5 days.
Yeah.
And we only had 3 people on site, plus a person who was keeping security around. So if you do the mathematics of it, I think it's around 1.2 to just put the skeleton up and do all the branding and the partitioning and all that. It was just 1.5. Okay. And it took a week. Now where the improvement comes in is now where we start having more variable cost as we go. We don't want this, we want this. Okay. Yeah, because now like iron sheet we have used a 28 gauge. You can see it's like it's more custom. There are some iron sheets which were longer, 2.5 meter, and there were 3 meters. Okay, ordering all those. Okay, it was done on a single day. So everything was here, and the fundis came. They installed the perimeter wall. Everything was done within 5 days max. Where now we now start differentiating between cheap and what you want is now where the cost of what you want comes in. Because if you want a good finish, there is no difference between doing a good finish inside here and inside a concrete building. The other quite a chunk of money, I think when you get inside, you realize the choice of the finishes are quite up to maybe to standard or to some other standard. I don't know what kind of standard, but you determine that one for us as we go.
So.
Yeah.
So before we get right in, is it possible that you give us a very rough scale of how much it has costed you to construct this house up to this level? And then in comparison to what you would have used to construct your dream house using the other brick and mortar system.
Okay. Before I started building with the iron sheet, I had a quotation for the concrete. It was around it was 6.8 plus some other cost. For the perimeter wall, it was adding up to around 7.4 around there. I had 3 of them, so there was one even for 13 million. So they were okay. You can say they are ridiculous, but I don't know what standard of work everybody was referring to. You know, everybody has a quote because of a certain standard of work, so you cannot judge them. But with this, it was easy. We did the foundation with around 350. Then the timber we did 367. The MABATI we did 400. Then the boards inside 157. Then what else? Those are the boards that include the ceiling board, the gypsum board up on the ceiling, and then the chip board that was 157. Then the cabinet boards we bought 44 of them, which approximated to around I think 130 something around there. Then we bought the concrete boards for the bedrooms and the wet areas. We did around, it was 32,000 around 32 and about. Yeah, and then now the other final touch-ups, the fixtures. You can see every fixture we have in there has a different price. Now when we go to the side of electricity, we did around 120. The lights and the wiring and the installation from Kenya Power people.
Okay.
And then we did the marble that was around 87,000. We did the plumbing work was around 67 inside. And then we bought a tank for 47. And then we did what else is there, Mr. Maina?
No, actually, did you mention of the tiling? I mean,
the tiling was 106.
For the whole house?
Yeah, everything, even outside here, or even on the wall, 107 there. Okay. Then the shower cubicle was coated by pearl grass. Or the cost was around 48,000. Then we did the showers and the heater, the 2 sets. Each set was around 25,000, so 50,000 for the shower and the heaters. Then we have the toilets. Those were, each was 14,000. Then what was there? The kitchen, the marble sheet up. Then the vanities, the hanging vanities, each was 15,000, and there are 3. So you can You can quite estimate the cost. The total is around, not so far. Not so far. The amount that I'm seeing now with plus the perimeter wall that I'll put, plus a bit of the landscaping that I'll do,
Yes.
The estimated should be 3.5 in total.
And compare that with what you would have used.
6.8.
You said 6.8.
6.8, 6.5.
So you can see the difference.
So
Before you come on my next asking how cheap is this house, you can
some
get a total from that.
Some of the things that really added costs to that amount are these the concrete parts.
Okay.
Like that one has taken, it was already there, but to repair it again, it took me 130,000.
Okay.
That's
The
it.
septic.
Yes, the septic. The tower, that I even at one point I got so angry with it because it was not coming to a conclusion.
That one over there.
Yeah.
Yes. That took around 220, 215.
And it was out of the budget.
And it was out of the budget.
Okay.
So
it was not anticipated.
we had not put it into consideration
Consideration.
because we wanted it here. But we realized we did not know what was here because when I was buying the property,
There was
this
an
was
existing
already
septic.
there.
Okay.
But after some observation, we realized it had cracked inside, and we had
The
to.
workmanship was poor.
Was
Ama
poor.
it had been there for quite long.
Okay, for 20 years had been there,
Oh.
but it had cracked inside. So the debris you see there, they are from inside there. So we had to demolish the whole thing and rebuild it up again. As also the reason why the foundation was very costly was, you can see if you look there, you can see there is a lot of
That's a kind of soil.
the black soil that is here. So you have to dig. Some of the people here may not know this, but in this area, you have to dig. Even if you dig 100 foot, you will not find any rock.
There's
Solid
possibility
bed.
of not getting mala.
You are not going to get a solid bed. And I think it's just a belt from here
Yes,
upward, this way up.
section.
So when you are doing the foundation, you need to actually have somebody who looks
A
at
history of that area.
of the area, because there are several houses having issues because the fundi just came and started building, and they did not have the exact knowledge of the geology of this place. But with that, when I came and found Mr. Maina, he was the saving grace because when we started, I thought the quotation was 170, but I've told you it went up to 350 because I did not want to build a foundation. Then I start rebuilding it again. We have cracked floors. I don't want that because it's a common phenomenon here and most people don't know it. Yeah. So I think that wraps it.
That cost he is trying to talk about. You can imagine most of the fixtures he's talking is the same fixture you would have used if you have used a brick house, all concrete. So if you did minus that one and then you consider the shell itself only, which now is in question, you'd find it's quite cheap. You cannot compare it, and we cannot compare it with the concrete.
If you do the shell, I was saying 1.1. That includes the MABATI, the boards, and the insulation material that comes in it, and then plus the rubber that is there. And then the consumables like nails, some of the it's called the aluminium strips that we put the hoop iron. I
Those
think
are
they
normal even for
those
the,
are consumables. Yeah. So
and
all
they are
of
normal even for a brick, concrete houses you are calling it. Also, I forgot to tell you, even on the roof, there is insulation between the and the timber. So all those ones, and still you can find it is almost half, I would call half of the brick. And if you can see the house itself, you can also tell me whether you can call it, what name can you give it between the two names, permanent and or semi-permanent. If you would have been asked by somebody, you have seen, if you also go inside, you will also be able to tell us.
David is.
So we are getting right inside the house, and with me is a very big team of experts who have been involved in the construction of this house. They are going to address most of the concerns that we usually get from such kind of sustainable homes. So welcome, David. David is in charge of, you said, interior?
Yes.
Yes. So please take us through. And I just have a few more questions before we finish.
Okay.
So I'd like to know, what span of time have you used to construct this house? Since inception, when you started the foundation, to now it is ready for habitation. It has taken you how long?
We started in February, right?
No.
Was it February?
We started-
When we started digging the foundation.
April.
It was April.
Yes.
Remember the big rain?
Yeah, there was rain. We anticipated, we anticipated to start in February, but there were some huge, there was a lot of rain. So
I think here she could be talking of the real contact time,
the contact time.
not the duration from when, because given for those months we were not doing it. There were some months we were completely not doing anything.
Okay, if officially we can say we started in April and we have finished this month.
But there are some months that we are,
Wow.
because of other factors, that we are not doing anything. So the whole construction can take even by 3 months.
Okay.
Complete.
On the higher side.
On the higher side.
So-
Otherwise, 1.5 months.
If you have the 3.5 million I'm talking about, every structure you have seen here can be done within 2 months.
Okay.
But to avoid a lot of people in your site, you do 3 months.
Yeah, you try to
You
start
can-
at
If you have the whole amount, you can do
with the shortest time possible.
shortest time possible. Because if the structure was put up within a week, we started on a Tuesday, we finished on a Wednesday. On was it not?
Even what was taking a bit of time is ferrying of Maina. Remember, it was raining.
Yes.
It was not
Quite chaotic.
yeah.
And then to my second question, what is the expected duration or lifespan? Let me call it the lifespan of such kind of a house.
And this one can stay even more than 50 years, even 50 years. The structure is very strong. Even the material that we have used,
Okay.
they can take even more than 50 years.
So you give it 50 years
Yes.
under whatever kind of weather conditions, whether it is stormy or...
Even it is stormy, everything. Yes.
Remember, when you are doing it, you should have known about the area there. If it is a swampy area, you should know how to do it for you to have that benefit of 50 years. Because you can do it and maybe the next day, depending on where you are put, again, you find yourself in it. So it's very, very, very crucial to know, especially the history of where you want to put it up.
So-
Otherwise,
Okay.
you need to long
That
go.
is satisfactory.
Here we have the two toilet and the bathroom here, the shared for these 2 bedrooms. This is the bathroom.
Will
Yes.
you tell us more about the heater?
The heater. Yes.
I want you to do this one here.
So the original idea, we did not have this in the original idea. The original idea, we had a hot water system from a solar heating point, which is supposed to be behind the house. So the original idea would be this is cold water, this is hot water. And this is the mixture. So when you balance the mixture, then you have hot water from here. But due to maybe financial constraint or whatever cost constraint, we have just introduced this for now. So with this, we realized we could not attach it direct to the main shower, this the big one. So we did
just
some
improvised.
improvisation. We connected it to this small one. So if we are using this heater, it will only work with this, because the hand shower directly get water from this point. This is a digital valve or whatever.
Yes,
There, it's a digital valve. So you change at the point where you want the water from. If you want from the tap, you change it from here. If you want from the hand shower, you change it from the same point, and also this. We realized we could use this directly from the heater. Instead of directing our water, the cold water directly here, we directed it to the heater. Then we got the outlet water from the heater to the handheld shower.
Actually, telephonic. It's called
telephonic hand shower. So that is the ukarabati that goes on here.
And the ukarabati, came out to be a very good idea because you can select. The water coming from here is cold right now, and this one is hot. So depending on what, even when I think we'll have two selections of when we have water heating system, it can fail. You can still use electricity and you don't change any setting here. You remain with the same setting. You can switch on to electricity directly or to the hot water depending on what will be available.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I noticed you mentioned that you can adjust the temperature according to what you want.
Yeah.
It is not a static
No,
heater.
this one is a digital water heater.
Okay.
The good thing with it, you might not even need a socket, but for purposes of any emergencies, you need a switch. The switch is outside there, but you can see right now the switch is on, but it's off.
Because water is
immediately it senses there is no water in the system, it shuts down.
Yeah.
And it stops heating. And if you don't need to even switch it on, you just need to switch on the water. And then it will come back up on system and start heating.
As you can see.
That is
And
impressive.
it will sense the temperature from the point where it left. Then you don't need, when you are showering, I think this is because of the environmental changes and the conservation of the environment. You find like the static shower, you switch it on, you start from 0.0. This one you don't start from 0.0.
Okay.
You switch it on, it starts from, like right now, it was on 44. You can digitally, and this is all water resistant. You can touch it with water, you can adjust the temperature up and down depending on what you want. And immediately it senses there is no water, it gives you a time period of 20 seconds. And then switches off.
And then to the next question now. What challenges have you encountered as a team while doing this kind of a construction? Because I believe it has taken a lot of research and it is not a blueprint that you picked from someone else's construction. It is something that is sort of more than 50% own invention. So are there any challenges you've encountered that you can advise someone who'd want to construct such kind of a house?
I think the biggest challenge was perception of everybody else. Apart from mine, because I had already convinced myself I want a MABATI house. But the way he laughed, most people would do that seriously. Even when I told David, by the way, David is a close friend of mine. Actually, this house has been constructed mostly by good friends. The first impression was, hey, MABATI. Charles, are you serious? Even the first fundi who came here, you remember? Tulimwambia najua hii foundation unatengeneza is for a mabati house. The guy was like, no, you can't build a mabati house. So I'm like, no, me, I'm doing it. That mentor like broke for alternative like housing was so much that there were suggestions that the bedroom should be made from concrete, the kitchen and the toilets. Then when we were seated there, I told Bwana Maina, no, not going to put any mabati house, anything concrete in this house. The only thing that is going to be concrete is the foundation. Everything else, we do it with timber and iron sheet, nothing else. And that is what has stuck. Even now, to some extent, David is now so much on board that you are resistant imepita. Okay. And I think tumechange watu kadhaa wamepita hapo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on to my last question. Will you recommend this form of housing to anyone or someone?
So many people. I would tell people, if your pocket fits in the description of making a house, consider this first. Try it. And the only trick is you anticipate what you want. Everything else, I don't think there is anything that beats an idea that is well executed. So you can recommend it to, if you take, by chance you go to Karen, you find a lot of these mabati houses, but they are well executed. That is the only difference. Okay. Yeah.
In here we have our closet here, a walk-in closet.
Cheza kama nyinyi kabisa.
We have a walk-in closet here. We have a sink there, toilet, and we have a cubicle here.
This was done by a company called Palgrass.
Palgrass.
Their quotation is quite good compared to other. I sourced from so many people. Because
are these local companies in Kenya?
These are local companies. This is Palgrass.
Okay.
So Palgrass, I called them on a Sunday evening. On Monday they were on site, and on Tuesday they fixed this.
So they installed this by themselves.
Yes, they
the
came.
Cubicle.
The quotation.
No, only the cubicle.
Oh, only the cubicle.
Okay, the other installations, no, it's just the cubicle.
So.
Because these, if you look for there are some people who have very exorbitant prices like 70,000. This is just between 48, depending on your customization, 48 to 54.
Okay.
This was 48.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they did it in just a day.
They had told me I would wait for 5 days, but I called them on a Sunday. They came on a Monday. Then on a Tuesday, they were done. They were on site and done.
That is wonderful.
The
I
response
hope the
was
company
marvelous.
gets to hear this
Yeah,
and receive their flowers.
the person in charge is called Juza. He's quite a cooperative guy. You even see him here.
Personally,
He will come personally for. I think he's those kind of people that if they want something done, they will
They
get
do
it.
it once
Because
and for all.
I had spoken to almost that is why I'm highlighting this so much. I had spoken to more than 6 people.
Okay.
Some of them, their quotation was so high up there.
some could not.
Then some is customization. What you want is not what they are going to offer you. Then others, it's just bad PR. Let us just say that straight bad PR. But when Pearl Glass, this is what they did.
So you were
And
happy with
I
this?
was so happy with it.
By the
Within
time they
a
were
very
coming
short
to
time.
install the tiles, or the tile work was already done.
No,
Yes.
this one were in place. The tiles, everything, and also the measurement were in place.
The tile guys, they are the same people who did the whole house for the tile. This one group under him.
Yeah.
So they did the wall tiles, the floor tiles, everything they did. I think it was 5 days they were done. And then they built this provision.
Okay.
We called them back for readjustment on this side so that this could fit properly.
Because of that edge there,
And
where
because
the,
of
the cover.
Apparently this has always to be put on a tiled wall. So we had to redo this. You can see this is a bit big. This side is a bit big because we had to
You want to resize the cubicle space.
Cubicle, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's generally it. So the board is the same fiberglass because of the water area.
It is this, the fiberglass you're talking about. So
The fiber cement. This is the fiber cement.
Fiber cement. Fiber cement board.
Yes.
Okay.
it is
Even you can do-
heavy.
You can do even plaster on this side.
Yeah, it looks heavy and strong.
Yes.
We get new inventions every day.
Yes.
So
It's one of the strongest board of them. all.
Of them all.
Yes.
Okay.
When you're doing fitting, you want to hard things, can use these ones.
It's stronger than gypsum.
Yes.
Aye, this is no big.
this one even cheap.
This one you cannot afford to put it to the ceiling.
Okay.
If you can,
Actually-
it's expensive but heavy as well.
Even we had to buy a braid for cutting this.
A special
specifically.
spray for
Yes, specifically.
It's a bit
Even
strong.
the screws you use,
different.
they are different from the screws you use for the gypsum.
You almost got steel nails for this.
No,
Not
no,
steel
no.
nails, just
I'm
screws.
They are
just
separate.
Yeah, okay, they can be comparable to steel nails
Okay.
in terms of screw unique standards.
So,
Yeah.
And their school is they are a bit expensive. Yes.
and they come in the same measurement as the other kind of boards.
Yes,
Yes,
it's
for
8 by
size.
4.
8 by 4.
Yeah.
Oh, but strong and heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
This actually to carry to ferry them from where we bought.
It was quite a task.
Even removing them from the truck
From the
was also a big
was not,
task.
was not easy.
It was not easy.
Okay.
So the bedroom setup is almost
same.
the same with that.
Except for the cubicle.
Yeah.
With the exception of the cubicle.
It's looking really elegant. And
So this is just, we wanted to contain it as a wet area.
Yes.
So the area,
what is elaborate? Of course, the wash basin with a bit of storage.
This is a cabinet. It's the vanity.
Okay.
It's a complete vanity.
Okay. So this is what is called a vanity.
Yes.
A set of wash basin and the mirror and a bit of shelves.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Not a bit of shelves.
Yes.
They are shelves.
bigger.
Ah.
And these ones are they are different types. There are some which are bigger than this, depending on your preference. You can even have a double basin.
Functional.
There are different types of the vanities, so you get with the one that you want. Yes.
So vanity is a set. See, I'm
It's a set.
learning today. Vanity is a set.
Yeah,
huh?
it's a set.
Okay.
Actually, not necessarily. You can have this. Somebody can build for you a vanity as only this. And this can also be homemade. You don't necessarily need to buy it.
Oh,
If you have
you
a
can
good
customize
food, somebody can build for you. Like that one for the, it's also a vanity, right?
Yes.
But it's made from here.
Yeah.
It's only that these are bought ready-made. And the good thing with this, the material used is quite light. It's not as heavy.
Okay.
So it doesn't put so much pressure, any tension on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are some of the considerations if you want to make this at home.
So,
You need some materials that are quite light, but the other one you can see it's small, so no much stress.
so what are your best highlights in this house as a homeowner? What are your best highlights since the inception up to now?
For me, perfect corners. If you go out there, you find you find the corners are not rounded MABATI. It's a strip for the corner done on its own. You get to the window, the window is, the corner is perfect. The way you can see, like these beams, the corners are perfect. But these are just small touches, but that the small thing, it's the small things that matter. So if you go to the kitchen, you can see the execution. Even the fundis gradually caught up with what I like. If your corner is not good, then everything is not good. And the highlight of this house is that the shower rooms, the kitchen. Those two are my best places to be in this house.
Okay.
Although now the kitchen, with time, I'll leave it to the lady of the house. Now I might build another good place for myself out there now, where you can enjoy your achievements.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And guys, with that, I hope I have covered most of the questions that you may have in mind, especially considering that I've been covering previously I've covered houses made of MABATI or aluminium, if you like. So this team behind me is part of the team that was actually involved in the execution of this house. And if you have any such interest, you can easily find their contact in the description box below. And with that, we come to the end of this very long, but I believe informative edition. Until the next one, it is bye for now.